Hello, I'm Ruth Hamilton and today I've got a video for Tonic Studios. I've got number 17 in the Designer's Choice series set of dies, and this one is called Home Sweet Home, and as you can see it makes up this beautiful little gift box. So I've been sent these. I've got to do some samples and then I'll be doing a blog post as well. So I'll just going to show you quickly what's in the set first of all, and then I'll set that aside and get some nice papers and things out and we'll go ahead and make one. So as you can see here, there's a little opening in the top, so it is a little gift box. You could possibly have an opening in the bottom too, but it's designed so that it goes together at the roof here. So here are the pieces. I say this in every video I do with these. There's a lot of dies on this acetate sheet, so it's really a good idea to take just a little quick photograph with your camera or whatever, first of all with your phone, so that you know how those go back on that sheet, because once you pull all these off it's a bit of a job getting them all back together again. It's just because there's so many. So I'll take this one off first of all. This is the main die. I'll just move this out of the road. That's the envelope it comes in, and the little sleeve there as well, and then they're all on an acetate sheet. So this is the main die of the set, and as you can see, this is the base, and this is the side of the house, the front and back, and then this is the roof. So you'll need to cut out two of these and then you join them together on the base here, and then with these little tabs, and everything's already got debossed lines on it, and all you need to do is take your bone folder or whatever and just reinforce all of those score lines and glue them together when you've got the two pieces. But anyhow, I'll be showing you how to do that very soon. So that's the main die, and then we've got this one, and as you can see I've used some lovely card here. This is actually speciality paper and it's broken glass, and it's in grey. Let's see what colour. It's just called broken glass. It's really lovely, and I thought, I live in Northern Ireland here, there's some beautiful cottages about, and I love this sort of stonework effect with white round the front and the red door, so I thought I would like to replicate that with my little house today. So this is the broken glass then in the grey colour, silver. I'll just check the colour of that and it'll be down in the description down below. And I've cut that out first of all. I've just drawn around this die because as you can see that actually cuts out the door, and for this one I've left that all intact and put the door on top. So I just drew around the inside of this die and then cut this paper out and put it on. I have used this little die here to cut out the panels for the sides, on both sides there, and then I have used this one, and that fits nice and neatly just inside here, as you can see, but I've cut that out in white, and that gives this lovely decorative detail here, which I've put onto the front. So that's really like a little trellis with some plants growing up at the front of the house, and then there's this little window inside. Then I have used the door, and I really think that just needed a lovely red door. So I've used this little one for the red door, and then there's a little die here, you can see, just this one, and there's a watering can and two plant pots, but then this little one here is this little knocker, doorknob and knocker. So that's what that one's for. And then I have used these dies, and now you could use lots of these and use them as slates or tiles or whatever down the roof, but I've cut two of them and then folded them back and attached them on the inside of the roof here, and then just nipped off the corners. You can't glue those together obviously because that's where the box opens, but if you just nip those off and then attach them like that, you can see I've cut out four of them, so they're on the back and the front. I've cut a little grey door for the back just to differentiate from the nice bright door with the knocker and whatnot at the front. So this is a tiny little window die, but it's really beautiful, and I've cut two each of those out in white and put them on the sides. And I have used some speciality card in Silver Silk because I thought it looked really nice on that roof there. So I've just cut two pieces of that out. I cut them 6.5 centimeters by 6.5, and then I put them on with double-sided sticky tape, self-adhesive this roll. Sometimes I think I use this Nouveau Deluxe adhesive for attaching all the pieces together, and it's particularly good for all these tiny little bits here. But I always use double-sided tape behind this kind of paper, because sometimes the glue shows through. You just get a little ridge or little line along, and it just takes away from the finished look of it. So if you remember that, it's always a good little tip. The glue for putting all these other pieces together, and the double-sided adhesive for attaching these panels. Now there's other bits as well in here, so there's I'll probably use them in some of the other things that I make, but this little die cuts out a beautiful little picket fence, and then there are these ones, now they cut out the centre, so you could paper paste that, or you could just attach that on to be pretty nice on grey card. You could use it as sort of stones on the side of a stone house, or you could make a little path and have these as the path, the stones on the path. And then there's some other decorative details here, and then this little one here which says Home Sweet Home, a little flower, butterfly, and all nice little pieces to add on to it, and then this beautiful tag. So it's a lovely big butterfly here as well. So I will just pop this all back together again and get some more card and paper out, and then I'll show you how we'll make one of these. So now I've gone ahead and cut out all the little pieces to make up another little gift box, and I've used the same Pewter Grey Craft Perfect card for the base. Then I have cut out some of this broken glass speciality paper again for the roof, and I have used some Snowdrop Meadow paper for the sides and the front and back, because that kind of reminded me of Pebble Dash. That was the idea anyway, that's what was in my head. And this time I'm using Buttermilk Yellow Craft Perfect card again for the door, and little gloss black I've cut out for the door handle. So 2 pieces, I'll just move these off. I've just got them set aside so I know what to attach to what. So the main die again now I've cut out in 2 pieces, and I have scored all of these lines, reinforced them with my bone folder here, made them all nice and crisp. So as you can see, this is the base, so that gets folded in, and these pieces will come along here. So when you come to the 2 folds that are together here, you're going to fold back on itself like that. So if you can just see there, I'll move this out of the road. So that's coming back like that, and then the roof will sit up like this. So I think you can see there what I've done. It's one folded valley fold, a mountain fold, and then it's pushed down on itself, and it's going to sit like that. And you do that with both of them. So these are all reinforced. Then I have I've added high-tack tape along the bottom here on both of them, and on one side I've left these little tabs just to fold in. I'll not be using them, but I want them to fold in because it leaves the top of it nice and neat. But on the other one I have just trimmed those off. So for the panels for the roof, I've cut these. This roof here is 6.5 centimeters by 6.5, and I've taken this broken glass speciality paper and I've cut it to 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters, and I'm going to attach that on here. Now there's a little slit here on one side, that doesn't matter, I'm just going to put it over the top, and on the other side I've trimmed it slightly smaller, slightly shorter, so the slit is visible there, and that's where I'm going to put this little tab through that slit. And I don't really want that in behind the paper because it'll make it just that little bit awkward to fit in at the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll take my pokey tool and just make sure that line is well opened up to take this little tab into it. Now, so that's the roof, the front here. Now on this one I drew around the outside of the triangular piece which I showed you earlier and attached the door on top. This time I have taken the 2 dies together. I've taken this one, sorry, and I've cut that with the Snowdrop Meadow paper, and I've cut it out like this, and that leaves the gap here, and I'm going to put the doorway into that. So I've done that for the back and the front. Then I have used this die, so this one, if you're wanting a pattern, this one must be used in conjunction with this one because it has no outside edges on it. So you cut those both together, or one and then the other into it, and that will give you this shape. And I'm going to attach that on top of what I call my pebble dashed front, so that will go there. I've cut the door and the windows out from the Pewter Grey card again, and then I have used this little tab again, this one. Now that's for the tiles for the roof, and as I said before, you could use them the whole way down the roof, but I like this kind of fascia effect. So what I've done again is I've cut that out 4 times, and as you can see, just where the back end of the embossing is there, can you see that? Set it on top of the grey. So it's flat when you cut it out, and then just at the top of where that embossing is, I have folded that over like so, just that little tab, and that piece then is going to get glued onto the inside. You can see it there. It's going to get glued onto the inside of the roof, and then that will sit down like a fascia. So I'm going to go ahead now, sort all these pieces out again and glue them all together, and I'll just speed the video up as I do that. And that's another little house finished. So you can see how I've just trimmed a little piece off at the corners here, and remember that you can't attach those together because that's how the lid actually opens. Back door, I still need to put a little doorknob on there, but that's the little roof and everything all assembled there. So they're very, very easily put together. You could make a set of these if you're going to give a gift. It could make lovely little favour boxes. You could hang them up from something as well. They're actually really, really beautiful, and there's lots of different ways. So you can open them up at the roof here, and there's where you'll put inside whatever you're going to add in there. I decided to add a couple extra things onto this one, so I've used this little fence die here, and I've cut it out twice in white, and then I've just put 3D tape, 3D foam tape in behind each of these little uprights here, so that I've cut it into very narrow strips and then just attached that onto the sides. So you can see that the fence is quite close to the side of the house, but it's really, really nice. Just reminds me of a little gate lodge that's not that far from here, and I think that's really nice. Then I took this little die, and it has a watering can and the door knob and knocker on it, and 2 little flower pots, and I have just put those on here, the little flower pots at the front there. So I thought these 3D crystal drops on the front of it made it look like a little plant growing up, so the green was nice with the grey and the white as well. So that's that little house finished. And then whenever I finished the red one, I added some crystal drops onto the front of that as well. So there they are, some nice green ones on the front there. And that's that little house all finished too. Now, those are the ones that I have ready to send off, but I've also done one that is going on a blog post. It'll be on Tonic's blog and it'll also be on my blog. So if you want to have a little look at that and how that was done, there it is as well. So on this one I have used all of the same dyes, just different coloured paper, and I've used some grey board for a little base on the bottom here, and I've covered it in green. I can't tell you everything that I've done on it here because you need to go to the blog to see that, but just to show you what I've done with these little dyes, and I've made a kind of little pebbled path up to the house. So that's that one as well, and back and front and whatever. So there we are. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, I've got lots more in the pipeline, and I always like to have company whenever I'm making these things, and it makes me feel as if I'm not just talking to myself. So thank you very much for watching, and thanks for joining me yet again, and keep safe and well in the meantime. Bye bye.